security and where to use it. So a couple of things you gotta kind of do when you're doing anything with Clawdbot. In terms of security settings, guys, there's a couple of things that you could do. You could set up permissions, guardrails, and permissions. When you do that on a host level, you lock it down, and obviously, guys, that's definitely, you don't want to miss that. The best way to do that is when you start working on Clawdbot, just go to their security section of the page and give that to Claude to go ahead and when you're doing this in a terminal, like whether you're in VS Code and have a Claude running, or you're within anti-gravity or whatever the case is, just tell it to make sure that my Clawdbot is secured, and then feed that security page into it. So that's the fastest way for you to kind of get this thing done. Now, in terms of setting things up, VPS or anything like this, remember, if you do that on VPS, it doesn't really have access to your browser or anything like that, and you still end up getting your data exposed, even on VPS environment. So the best way that I recommend I recommend doing it on Docker. So if you have free Docker installed, install it real quick, run it in a containerized environment, then you're going to be good to go. Just don't connect it to email. You technically don't need email. I'll show you another way, explain another way for how to do that. So what we connect Clawdbot in our particular case for our talent agency and our luxury pet brand and our car detailing brand, we connect it to Discord. So Discord has many different types of channels. It's slightly different than Slack, because you could categorize those channels directly in Discord into different topics, which is pretty dope. We also use Slack as well in combination with Clawdbot. But when you're using Clawdbot, we're combining it with deterministic workflows that are packaged within our Freedom Fusion automations. So where Clawdbot acts as more of a scheduler that executes already predeterministic automations, such as Freedom Fusion automations that are described in this channel. Those are basically like iPhone shortcuts that are just running on your computer, on your iPhone, and they execute all sorts of things for you in a semi-guided approach that socials love. And doing this approach will give you a lot more views than trying to do this with fully automated approach and risking the chances of getting cooked. Now, keep something in mind. When you start using Clawdbot, and the other day, actually, my Google account got banned, got suspended. So I had to remodify this strategy for Google account. So I ended up, like, what I was doing, I was scheduling multiple pieces of content on the Google account, and immediately I got suspended right away. So when I was setting up my car detailing brand, immediately right away I got suspended. So we got Amber McCoy, that's her birthday, happy birthday. Guys, definitely celebrate every single day. Life is short, and definitely celebrate it. Enjoy your birthday, get yourself a cake. Here's a life hack that I would use for a birthday. Go to a restaurant, show your ID that is your birthday, and get like free food. They do that. Happy birthday, Amber. Yeah. So guys, look, thank you for jumping in. And I don't know, I guess Clawdbot became really popular and a lot of people are freaked out, and I figured, like, how do we deal with this? Should we use it? Should we not? I figured I'd just go ahead and explain it to you. I liked and subscribed. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and happy birthday once again. Guys, look, a couple of things you got to understand about Clawdbot. A lot of people telling you to do that on VPS, whatever, and you start paying like $6 per month for VPS, which is fine as well. You could do that, but the way I set up my Clawdbot is, I set it up multiple ways until I realized what is the best way. At first, I was setting it up in Cloudflare, but then even the Cloudflare costs go up. Then I set up in VPS, and I was like, man, I don't really have access to my browser or to any of my other automations that I want to execute. And I don't really have access to my computer, which like my Wi-Fi, my home network, in a way where I could like turn off my tankless water heater when it gets stuck and there's no when there's no hot water. I wanted to have access concretely to my Wi-Fi network and be able to like find my printer, print stuff onto it, turn off the tankless water heater, be able to control my thermostats. And if I was to do that on VPS, that's not like, it's going to be too clunky to do that. It doesn't really have access to my Wi-Fi directly. So I wanted to still have a more secure environment, but not really at the sacrifice of the browser, because I still need a browser. Although like Clawdbot doesn't come directly with browser, you could still have like Playwright or a bunch of other ways, a bunch of other skills that you could include, including some of my own Freedom Fusion automations that I already constructed, where one of the skills is you go on school community and it just engages with people automatically for marketing purposes. And this is how I became a level 6 goat on school community. Like there's so many use cases for that, including the use cases for like security. And of course, I know some of you be like, well, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable giving my email. So don't give it an email. Think about it. How many, like majority of the time, like even for my business guys, for all the 3 brands, I never use email. Never. Think about it. Never. For all 3 brands. So like, how do you do that? How do you do that in a way where you could, what if you wanted to give an email? You could still give it an email access, but make sure you provide a limited access where it doesn't send. It just can do things in a draft and then notify you. So this is a gazillion times easier. Bye everyone, and happy birthday once again to Amber, guys. So now some of you will be like, well, Rome, I'm like, isn't my life revolves around email? No, it's not. Like literally guys, it's 2026. Who's using email? Ask yourself. Go to Threads. This is where you get more customers on Threads alone. On LinkedIn, you get a lot of scammers and a lot of cringy people who are literally like LinkedIn just never worked for me. But I'm not saying that it's not going to work for you, but for me, it just never worked for me. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't be creating some solutions for LinkedIn. It just means for me personally as a person, it never felt as real as, let's say, Threads or TikTok or anything else like that. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, couple of things. Security, guardrails. I already described how to do this with the guardrails, how to set up basic permissioning, how to secure your Clawdbot. Now, a lot of you probably gonna be like, well, Rob, what about like, I don't know how to set this thing up in a Docker. You're talking about containerized environment. You're talking about all those words. I don't understand any of that. Guys, if you don't understand any of that, then definitely watch more videos over here, jump into my community as well. And you're gonna, trust me, you're gonna understand how easy. Guys, it's stupid easy. It's just your AI assistant that literally you could talk to. In fact, I already set up a mini version of Clawdbot even before Clawdbot existed, right here on this channel. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and search for Stirring Up the Pot. You're gonna see exact same Clawdbot architecture that probably the main guy who created Clawdbot already reused in his Clawdbot from some of my projects that I already rolled out, like Stirring Up the Pot, which is absolutely bonkers. It's even crazier than Clawdbot. Why? Because first of all, it interacts with you on your iPhone. Clawdbot doesn't do that. It doesn't interact with you on your iPhone. Second of all, with Clawdbot, you're taking lots of risks. Things are not guardrailed. There is no deterministic workflows. You are just kind of giving the keys to the wild, wild west. But with all that being stated, that doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't be using that with Freedom Fusion automations like Stirring Up the Pot or the Skooky Sys automation that is available for anybody who wants to quickly grow on school community, or Threads responder that is available for anybody who wants to increase their engagement on Threads, or like Threads Pet Automator that is for anybody, if you're a pet brand who's interested in growing your pet brand business and getting connected with brands, get on retainer plus commission as extra gravy. That doesn't exclude any of those automations. You could still use Clawdbot to invoke them, and that's exactly what we use it for, because essentially those Freedom Fusion automations, they have guardrails baked in. In simple words, they run on your iPhones in a form of free iPhone shortcuts. Now, you could install them for free. You could get them in my Gumroad. I make them available for free, but just keep something in mind to integrate all those components, all those systems, to make a Clawdbot automatically dispatch that Freedom Fusion automation. So this way you don't have to think about it, and it just kind of notifies you and tells you when to do it and you just do it, and you get a little pop-up on your phone executing that automation, where you literally turn off your brain without having to think of anything like that. For that, yeah, you would pay money to get access into our either low ticket offer, which is Thread Stack, which is $14.99 per month, or into JackSpa's Feudal Incubator. This is one of our incubators. I'm charging $295 per month, and in that Feudal Incubator, this is not for everybody, but it's perfect for anybody who want to build their own brand, or wants to like start a business and get, or like anybody who wants to promote our talent agency to other Feudal Lords in combination with our Freedom Fusion automations and our Freedom Fusion system CRM. Then it's definitely for you guys. It's $295 per month, and you get access to Clawdbot safe setup with Clawdbot across containers. And of course, the reason why we use containers, it's free. The container is a free environment. It's installed on Docker. You can download Docker. You have it running beautifully, and gradually over time, you're going to be enabling extra access. Now, if you look at my channel, you're going to see substitution techniques that I used before Clawdbot even existed. Those substitution techniques, like literally, for example, I built an automation that's called Stirring Up the Pot, that combines Apple Intelligence and just like a little small mobile app, not native mobile app that runs on your iPhone, but just like a real small little mobile app that depends on native functionalities that are baked inside of the shortcuts. Apple native functionality, which is huge, because like if you were to just build a regular app that doesn't support an Apple functionality, then you can't really do those crazy features like taking screenshots on TikTok or Threads, summarizing things for you. You'll be paying so much money and paying so much money for APIs. But with my Freedom Fusion automations, guys, you're going to be able to get a lot more. Now, it will be $295 per month, but if you're a brand owner and trying to set up like conversational flows, AI voice bots, have your own book appointment system, have email nurturing campaigns, have Clawdbot set up, then trust me, guys, it's going to be smooth sailing for you. $295 per month. Man, this is still, guys, for entire JackSpa's, guys, $295 per month. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm trying to get some coffee. So check this out, guys. Earlier today, I went ahead, before creating this workshop, I created another workshop about Thread Stack. Thread Stack is our low ticket offer. You guys already know about it. But guess what? I found another strategy where I managed to tap into Tai Chi. I know some of you be like, what? Tai Chi? What does Tai Chi have anything to do with threads? Guys, definitely watch that workshop if you haven't watched it yet. It's absolutely bonkers. The marketing strategy that I discovered, this strategy gotta be borderline illegal. Basically, and I know I'm kind of segueing away from Clawdbot and describing it, but I'll revisit that shortly. But this strategy, guys, man, I discovered it by accident when one of my Freedom founders, Jackson, the cookie sniper, went ahead and posted a controversial thread saying that he needs to get some money, and he just included a barcode and literally said, I'm trying to survive in college, please send me some money, and a barcode. And I was like, all right, me as a Freedom founder, I gotta roll with that. Let me see if I could make anything out of it. So what I did is I reposted the thread, and immediately we got some some folks jumping into a thread and be like, how can you do that? How can you So that was fun. I described this whole concept of this technique for how to get people on your side. If somebody is attacking you inside of threads, how to bring them into your brand and either get them to become the Freedom founder or some sort of contributor for your vision. Now, so the hardest part in 2026, guys, is definitely going to be getting people on your side. And with Clawdbot, this is just got a gazillion times easier. Yesterday, I went ahead and I did a brand outreach workshop. Just think about it. Like, just look, I'm going to give you a challenge, quick challenge. Go onto ChatGPT and just ask basic questions like this, something like this. But before even you do that, let me describe to you why. Here's what I discovered, guys. I discovered after talking to ChatGPT, and you guys know I'm a powerful user, right? So I talk to ChatGPT a lot. But you know what I discovered, guys? I discovered that people, lots of people are copying me. This is such a big compliment. I was never able to achieve anything remotely near. So the question is, how is it even possible? All of a sudden, I see a lot of influencers like literally trying to copy me. But like guys, before that wasn't happening. But how am I recognizing through ChatGPT? How am I making this decision? How am I even realizing that this is the case? Guys, this is a like deep level thing that if you unlock this, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna be totally executing that for my brand. Now if you don't have a brand, then definitely guys, you could become a freedom founder to serve the feudal lords, helping other people to realize their dreams while slowly unlocking some of those hybrid skills that are not taught in college, getting access to our systems, automations, thread stack, digital power bundle, and everything you need in order to finally discover some of those skills and eventually, become that freedom founder. Then later on, a feudal hustler maybe, teaching other folks how to discover those hybrid skills that are not taught in college. And maybe one day, who knows, maybe a feudal knight where you're gonna be orchestrating the other feudal hustlers and getting a feudal share for your efforts. Or maybe you want to be a feudal lord. Maybe you already have an existing business and you already qualify as a feudal lord. Who knows? But the bottom line is, by the way, before I talk about ChatGPT, before I talk about Clawdbot, before I talk about thread stack, all that stuff, let me tell you one thing. But don't go away, because if you go away, never gonna discover. You're never gonna discover the discoveries that I made. The discoveries are as follows, guys. Look, those discoveries are like when I start talking to ChatGPT, I start realizing that there's certain niches. And what I did is I created another workshop that literally shows you how to discover niches. Guys, this is actually, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about how to discover niches and how to use Clawdbot in the mix. Guys, I know some of you be like, well, what do you mean by how to discover niches? You see, guys, after talking to ChatGPT for many years, I realized that there's a lot of people copying me. And it's a compliment, because before I couldn't even get to that point of anybody copying me. But they're copying me not directly by visiting this channel, this YouTube channel, but they're copying directly by gathering the intelligence from all of those. I think at this time I have more content than Neil deGrasse Tyson, the famous astrophysicist, in this channel. They're copying it through AI and executing my ideas. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. Oh my God, this is so beautiful, guys. But I didn't realize this until I started encountering those people. So they're like silently just building solutions based on my ideas from the ChatGPT that I already included into AI, and then I'm recognizing them on the TikToks. Now, guys, look, why am I saying all this? The reason why is because I'm giving you a little gateway. I'm giving you an opportunity to learn how to tap into other businesses by using that discovery, by creating content where other people can tap into, optimized for other people in terms of finding you. So this is a pretty cool technique. Imagine somebody finding you just because you went ahead and I created lots of content on YouTube, and that content got processed by AI. And now out of a sudden, a lot of people are looking for fresh ideas. They're looking for cases. And when they start looking for those cases, they want to see consistency. If you can provide that consistency across YouTube, and the best way to do that is through Clawdbot. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. And first I gotta get coffee.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye. See? Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks. All right, guys, thank you for jumping in. Let's resume where we left off with Clawdbot. So there's a couple of setups that I wanted to quickly describe. So this is what I'm using for security. Essentially, I'm using guardrails with deterministic workflows. I'm going to quickly break it down how I'm doing it on my laptop. So this is a secure environment. You're learning this from full stack cybersecurity engineer. That's my background. I do that for a living. So guys, check it out. This is what I use. I use Docker container. You just turn it up and you don't give access to your email. You only give it access to be able to make drafts. So this way you, as I mentioned, you give it access to do drafts, and you set up a container. Once you set up a container, you do a couple of things. First of all, you want to get a couple of skills up and running. One of the things that I'm using is capture, because essentially to discover capture, essentially when you go to a bunch of websites that ask you like, hey, can you confirm the capture? Can you do this? Can you do that? And obviously there is a service for that where people can confirm capture for you. So that, did you guys know that there is a service, sort of like you're paying for API, but you're paying for capture, where there's actual people who will validate your capture. Did you guys know that there's such service? That's what I'm using Clawdbot for. So the next thing that I'm using it for is for my luxury pet brand to do outbound campaigns. So what I mean by that is, in my business, when running luxury pet brand, there's many ways of interconnecting with different types of brands. In order for our talent agency to get connected with brands, we got to represent ourselves as a creator at first. Meaning, of course, you guys already seen my other YouTube channel where you see our car detailing brand, where you see our luxury pet brand, and for every brand we have different social channels. So the way where Clawdbot comes in, it reaches out to those brands, but in a smart way, through the virtual assistants, actual virtual assistants. Except in our particular case, those virtual assistants are freedom founders. Because if you look online, if you go on ChatGPT and ask a question, how come I can't find any videos where people literally show me how to do a brand outreach? It's going to say the reason why, and it's going to provide you that reason. Now, the reason is going to be shocking. And of course, the reason is because social platforms, they don't really want you to be doing any kind of bot level activities. It's against their guidelines. So this is the reason why you're not really seeing any videos about it. But this is actually the biggest bottleneck. The biggest bottleneck, especially for me as a person who wants to be across multiple brands, who wants to make money from car detailing here and there, having that brand make money from brands who would be giving all sorts of deals for my freedom founders. Essentially, like the whole business model works is the freedom founders get connected with brands, but I'm in the middle, my talent agency in the middle, and we get to make money in the middle just by connecting brands with pet UGC creators. Like, there's a lot of processes going on in terms of, number one, finding the freedom founders, meaning pet UGC creators. Number two, finding the brands. And number three, connecting them together. Those processes are not like one-trick pony types of processes. This is something that you could only understand if and only if you operate in the brand. But Clawdbot makes it super efficient for us to reach out to those brands. Here's what the Clawdbot does for us. So inside of our Freedom Fusion System CRM, which is basically in Go High Level, what we do, we find those brands. We use a certain tool. There's several tools out there, guys, that makes it easy for you to scrape data and put it like in a table. It's a special different tool. It's not Clawdbot, but we use it together with Clawdbot to engage all those brands, interact with them, place them into Notion, clipboard, and reach out to them. But the process of reaching out to them is done not directly by Clawdbot, but through CRM. So CRM is really what's controlling the outcome and communicating, but not directly through freedom founders. But freedom founders are dispatched through Clawdbot. So Think of Clawdbot as that communication channel, but in a much better way, without me having to constantly tell and reach out to a freedom founder and being like, oh, did you reach out to a bunch of brands? How many of those brands actually responded? How many? Like, I don't have to worry about any of that. I could just tell Clawdbot to follow up with the freedom founders. For my talent agency, guys, it's absolutely no brainer. Before, I would be reaching out to brands myself, and it would be such a consuming task because you have to go on Insta. You got to DM every pet UGC creator, and you got to contact the pet brands. Then you have to find how valuable, how compatible they all are between one another. There's just too many things that I had to do manually. Now I don't have to do that. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore manually. Now it's just Clawdbot doing it with Notion and our CRM and our freedom founders orchestrating the process. I don't have to tell the freedom founder, oh, how many pet UGC creators did you reach out to? Oh, or like, hey, by the way, did you reach out to that brand? Oh, by the way, did they accept our offer? Like, forget about that. None of that I have to worry about. Clawdbot is being that orchestrator. So to set it up securely, just use Docker, guys. Get it going, and connect it to your systems. Now, a lot of people already know the technical side of Clawdbot, but a lot of people also don't know the actual use cases. Now, in our case, the use cases are clear like water. Now, the problem is a lot of people out there wants to get this set up and done it for them. If you guys want this complete setup with Clawdbot, conversational AI, and our automations, DM Path on my Insta, so this way I can send you more info. And depending on who you are, like, it all depends on your educational background. So if you're not really savvy, I'm not going to recommend you to set up Clawdbot. If you are savvy, then I will. And yeah, the best way for me to help you guys is to learn more about you. The only way to do that is to communicate with my bot, conversational bot. So this way I could discover your Freedom Fusion path and direct you to the right freedom founder who can help you. So to talk to my bot, all you got to do is DM the word path on my Insta, and then you're going to see how it talks. And you could ask questions. So if you're like if you're a struggling process prisoner, constantly being like, can't figure out what to do, which direction to take, how to use all those tools, how to apply them for your use case, or maybe you don't even know the use case, then definitely guys, our feudal incubator is for you. It's called Jackspot. But you're going to learn more about it. My conversational AI bot is going to explain it to you. Now, what we're doing now is we're creating multiple bots, one for each brand, a marketing bot, and an educational bot. And basically what they do, they orchestrate the decision making and they communicate with Clawdbot as well. Now, if you want to learn more about it, DM the word path. Where the hell are we? Wow, I think I'm stuck. Let me drink that coffee. You know what? Maybe I should. Oh, I know what I gotta do. Oh, yes, guys. I'm gonna create another workshop, guys. To see if I could go to Home Depot.